Time for the only radio show of its kind. Auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, veterans of vintage. It's the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. For the next hour, enjoy great information about buying and selling antiques and collectibles, and some interesting stories. Now, the Donley Auctions Hour.
Welcome to the Donley Auctions Hour. Thank you for joining us every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. I'm Susan, and I'm here with Randy Donley every Saturday. We're the owners of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. We're just 60 miles west of Chicago, folks, right off of I-90, and we're here today to tell you about some interesting collections and things we're looking for that you might want to put up for auction. You might even have these items in your home. Hi, Randy. Crazy week at Donley Auctions, huh?
As usual, Susan, it certainly is, you know.
We are very busy working on several auctions at once.
Well, you know, Susan, I went out to pick up some items, and what do I see?
What do you see?
In these people in the corner, but a big, giant tower clock. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what a tower clock is, it's the internal mechanism for a big tower clock, like a Big Ben style clock that's up in a tower. And the mechanisms are absolutely fascinating to look at.
They're beautiful.
And it's a work of art in itself. And so we picked up a tower clock this week.
How much does that thing weigh?
Oh, a lot.
A lot. BigHeavyAuctions.com. That's us.
That's what we do. And but the tower clock is going to be coming up in November. But, it's always interesting to me how we'll go out on a lead to look at items and everything, and we so often end up taking things that people never even called us on.
Right.
For example, our guest today. And we do have a guest coming up in our next segment. This gentleman actually was talking to me about a pinball machine, which we are taking again for the November auction, always looking for pinball machines. And
vintage arcade equipment. So let's throw that out there. Start looking in your basements and your garages, folks.
So at any rate, we're discussing his pinball machine and the pickup and everything else. And, I ask how he acquires it and all that. And one thing leads to another. And he tells me he, above all things, is a marble collector. Now, when we talk so often about, we're looking for antique toys, for the auction, that breaks up into so many different segments. I mean, whether it's tin toys, cast iron toys, the different ages, whether they're, pre-Civil War or post-Civil War or 50s, 60s. I mean, just all different collectors, but also the items, be it dolls or trains or even marbles. So,
right, they're not just for kids anymore.
Boy, they certainly aren't. Some of the prices on marble. So we do have a guest today going to be talking about his marble collection that we're going to be auctioning off.
We have so many consigners with eclectic taste. So we're not only looking for the same old, like we always talk about firearms and arcade equipment, coin-out machines, phonographs, but we have so many other little collections that we're going to be putting up probably this summer, I would think. We have a Playboy magazine collection. We have some illustrations and artwork.
Well, what's really interesting about the Playboy collection is not only do we have a vast amount of magazines, but the original artwork, Susan, the original artwork from the artist's family that had all the artwork back at home. And here it is coming up at Donley Auctions.
Right. And you just told me yesterday, I'm heading up to the Grand Geneva and Lake Geneva tomorrow. You said it's the old Playboy Club. I did not know that. That's where I'm headed.
Yep. Oh, my God. So many memories of the Playboy Club.
That's for sure. We're very busy at Donley Auctions this week. We're also hiring. I have 15 interviews. We're looking for several people to join our fast-growing team. Give us a call at 815-923-7000. I like to find out from you, what do you like to do? And I bet you we could find a job for you here at Donley Auctions. So give us a call. But coming up next, we have the June phonograph auction. That's our next auction, June 14th and 15th. Randy, give everybody a little highlight of what's coming up.
Well, this is actually two collections, Susan. We've mentioned this before on the air. We have two collections of antique phonographs and music boxes. And, of course, again, everything that goes along with it, be it records, cylinder and disc records, and all the little nipper items, salt and pepper shakers and so on and so forth. But amongst everything else, we do have the lost archives of the Victor Phonograph Company, all their literature, including, Susan, their very first corporate minutes.
I know, that's amazing. We always have so much history at our auctions. You just never know what's going to come in the door. So I got a call today from a bidder who wants to bid on these archives and wants a private viewing of them. He's already making his travel arrangements and coming out. He's in the United States, so he'll be out here to take a look at them.
Well, and, it's funny because we always say this, when items come up to auction, they're available now. But that doesn't mean they'll be available again in the next year or so, because very often when these things get bought up, they get put away in be it institutions or private collections where they might not be available again for the next 40 years. So the rarity of these items will be, I'm sure there will be multiple libraries or institutions, after this grouping of paperwork, because it is so rare and so significant. It talks about the incorporation of the Victor Phonograph Company, which, we kind of know it as RCA, but it started as Victor, and the founders, Eldridge Johnson, Emil Berliner, all this, and signatures and autographs, and it's just absolutely an interesting.
Very historical, that's for sure. And that particular grouping, it's sold as one lot, will be coming up on Sunday, not Sunday. This is a Wednesday, Thursday auction.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting. It's a midweek
auction.
So I keep have to correct myself. It's Wednesday, Thursday. So these items, the Lost Archives, Thursday, June 15th. If you want to check out the catalog to see what we're talking about, go to donleyauctions.com. Everything's online for your viewing now.
That is correct. And again, along with the archives, there's other. We've got a handwritten letter by Thomas Edison, another handwritten letter by Alexander Bell. The stuff goes on and on. But in the phonograph collection, you don't have to be a phonograph collector to appreciate the machines here. Susan, there's even a couple lamps that are phonograph lamps where there's a phonograph concealed inside the shade of the lamp.
Beautiful, right.
Yeah. And also, dolls. The very first talking dolls, Susan, had a cylinder record in them.
I saw that. I hope you guys can show us the internal parts of those dolls. I'd love to see how that works.
Yeah.
There's 4 of them.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, not one at Donley Auction, not 2, but 4.
4 dolls.
Rare, interesting stuff. The Victor trademark phonograph, the one that you see always pictured with the little dog, that's a very rare phonograph. Came out in 1895, and we have 3 different versions of that in this auction.
That's right. And you know what? These items run from $50 all the way up to thousands of dollars. There's something for every range of your budget. And I think a lot of these are just beautiful decorative pieces. Anyone out there staging homes or anything like that, or just want a collection in your office, this is a great time to buy. And
this is, again, June 13th, or is it 14th and 15th, correct?
It's Wednesday and Thursday, right. 14th and 15th. That starts at 10 a.m. It is a live auction, and it's online. I'm already getting phone bids from people from the UK and Germany, so very popular stuff. Let's
But
get
today,
your calls in.
Today, we want to find out what you have. So we need
that's what we have. We want to know what you have.
What do you have that you want us to sell for you? And whether it's one item or an entire collection. We just picked up some guns this week, Susan, and here's something really interesting I found is that the person said, we heard on the radio that the difference between running and selling the guns outright is that somebody else is trying to buy the guns as cheap as they possibly can.
That's right.
Whereas your job, Donley Auction's job, is to get us as much as possible. And that is the big difference. There's many ways of selling, but truly the best way to sell firearms or any collectibles and antiques that you have is through auction.
That's right. So give us a call at 815-923-7000. Tell us what you have. Send us some pictures to our email address at consign@donleyauctions.com. We'd love to hear what you have. We'll talk to Randy or Mike or any of the guys and see if there is some direction we can give you on whether or not you should put it in auction. So firearms, for sure, we can come pick them up. We have a federal firearms license, so you do not have to worry about a thing. We'll take care of it for you. But also, that gun auction we're talking about, we're still taking consignments for that, and that's coming up July 15th and 16th.
Right.
That's a Saturday and Sunday.
And we're looking for Civil War items for that.
Civil War items for that one? Okay, good. But we also want to remind you, don't go anywhere, because in our next segment, we're going to have Robert on the phone to tell us about the lucrative hobby of collecting marbles. I can't wait to hear about that. And we got to talk more about the Wild West Town. So you're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour right here every Saturday on AM 560, The Answer.
They've been called auctioneers of antiques, collectors of cool, even veterans of vintage. And they can introduce themselves. Thanks for listening. This is the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. I'm Susan. I'm co-owner of Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. I'm here with Randy Donley, and we have a guest today. Robert Spinelli is a marble collector. Hi, Robert. Thanks for joining us today. I'd love to hear how long you've been collecting marbles.
Hi. Thanks for having me. Well, I started collecting probably about 1999 or so. Yeah.
Long
and
time.
so I've been collecting a little bit over 20 years.
Well, Rob, I've known your dad my whole adult life. I met your dad,
years.
Over 50 years ago when I was, a teenager. And of course, your dad Ben is a big time military collector. So here, you and I were just talking about an arcade machine, a pinball machine that you're going to be putting in our November auction. And as we got talking, all of a sudden the whole marble hobby came up, how long you've been collecting and everything. I found it fascinating. And now we're going to be doing an auction for you selling marbles.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I thought it was really nice to, I love going to your auctions and stuff. And I've been going with my dad for about a year and a half now or so. But I just thought that it'd be a great place to put the auction up for.
Well, yeah, thank you for thinking of us, for sure. I know you're downsizing and shifting your attention to some other collections right now, but tell us about what you do have, how many marbles you have, and what our listeners should be looking for if they want to sell marbles at an auction.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, I have probably, thousands and thousands of just common marbles, because there's different categories of marbles. You got your collectible, your common, those are game marbles and stuff. So, those are but collectible, really good marbles, I'd probably have, 700 or 800 that are like really good marbles.
Wow.
What was interesting to me is the way you have them all displayed on racks and everything. I always think of marbles when somebody tells me they got a bunch of marbles, I assume they're in a mason jar and you can only see the outside edge. You really don't know what's in there. That's the way over the years I've acquired marbles, But
that's the best. That's the hunt.
it is, isn't it? That's the fun of collecting is the hunt. Now
the hunt is the best. Because like the way I got started is really weird. Because I'm into metal detecting, so I would do that in my backyard back in like '99 and 2000, and I would dig up coins and stuff, but I would dig up marbles along with them. And then I found a really cool snake corkscrew by Acro, and that kind of got me going.
Now, a snake corkscrew is a marble?
Yes, that's by Acro Agate, and it's a clear marble with a band of color going around it and a corkscrew. Uh-huh. And it's clear, so it looks like a snake inside of the marble. So
wow.
I have all kinds of those. And they have some with one color. Then if you get them with two colors, they get more valuable, more rare.
Rob,
and then
what are the value of some of your marbles? Do they range from like $50 to thousands?
Yeah.
They do have a big range of value,
sure.
right?
They
Depends on the color.
Oh, yeah. The color is key. Size is key. And condition. Those are like three main things. And, of course, the company that you're choosing to collect. Because there's a lot of different manufacturers. And it all started like there's a long history with marbles because handmade marbles started in Germany like in the 1820s. And those were made out of cane. They didn't like blow them like you would like blowing glass. It's a little different because they use a cane and they put bands of colors in it and then they spin it and then they mold it into a round marble and cut the ends. It's really interesting.
Well,
and then they start making machine ones.
My research tells me that actually, even though the manufacture of marbles took place anywhere, the beginning from 1820 to 1850, actually ancient Romans and Greeks have been playing with marbles for centuries.
Oh, sure, yeah, it goes back to probably the beginning of time.
Right, they used to use seeds, and then they went to clay, and it just evolved over the years. Obviously,
I have beautiful agates and stuff. I got like rose quartz ones, and I got those. Those are actually the glass they tried to mimic the agates, that they polished back, before they could machine them or anything. So they just, carved them out of rock and stone and whatever, and just polished them up, and then they shoot them at each other.
I just watched a YouTube video last night on, that show How It's Made. They have a YouTube video on how they make marbles. It was fascinating on how they make mass amounts of them.
Well, the marbles that interest me, I think, are the ones, I believe they're called sulfides with the little figures in them.
Right. Yeah,
now,
those are nice because they make a little figure out of sulfide and then they like push it through the marble cane, and then they get faked a lot, and just like any hobby, marbles are counterfeited pretty big time.
Boy, I'm glad you brought that up because you are so right. I mean, in collecting, the minute stuff gets expensive, people figure out a way to fake it and counterfeit and everything else. And I was not aware until you're saying this now that is a problem in the marble hobby.
Oh, yeah, big time, because they'll take the old glass cullet, they dig it up from the old marble sites, and they'll remelt it and they'll rework them. And if they don't say that they're reworking them and stuff, then they're counterfeiting, and then you got to be careful. People do say that these are remelt, and it's fine, because you're clarifying what it is. So.
Wow,
you sound like quite the expert. So I would think if any of our listeners have any marbles, we could ask Robert for his opinion on them.
Oh, sure, yeah, I do that too with friends and stuff, because I always tell people, if you see them at a garage sale, a flea market, or even an auction, let me know, because I help people value them too.
Oh, good. Good to know. Another expert on our staff for sure, Robert. Thank you.
Sure. Rob, I'm surprised at the difference in size. When I was growing up as a kid, I mean, we only had two sizes. But now that I'm, again, doing this research, it's really amazes me, the difference in size. Is that just because of different manufacturers, or was there a purpose for the different sizes?
Well, a lot of them are like when they start producing, they have to figure out the machining has a cutting device in it, and it's timed, I think, to how big they're going to be. And so when they start off a little small, and then they get up to the general size, which is 5/8 is the standard. So 5/8 is your standard marble, and then your shooters are like 3/4 inch or a little over 5/8 to that inch mark. And then when they get over inch, then they're more of just, they just made some big marbles. Those really aren't for playing.
Right.
More like, and they did that a lot. And when they made the German ones, the handmade, they would make some big marbles, especially at the end of the day. They would make end of day marbles where they'd get all this glass flake on the floor and whatever, and they would make these big onion skinned end of day marbles, which are extremely valuable now.
Is there any certain colors we should be looking for that are more rare than other ones?
Oh, there's depending on the company, because some of them have like their main. It's hard to. Yeah, that's something we have to go into kind of, because that's like one of the keys, of course. And there's so many different manufacturers.
Well, I know pink is kind of rare. Is pink still kind of a rare color to look for? Okay.
Yeah, and then
I was told black and white were rare too.
Black and white, that's a good one. And then with Pelter, that's a company in Illinois that made and they supplied their glass to Tiffany glass actually.
Wow.
Tiffany. So yeah, that and then they would put I forget the name of it. It's a speckle material.
Like a confetti almost.
Huh. It's not. It's mica. Oh, it's
confetti mica. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time, Robert, but this was very educational. I never knew so much about marbles until the last couple days. And did you know also that July 23rd is National Marble Day? So mark your calendars, folks. Give us a call. We'll celebrate.
Now we're going to be auctioning off your collection in several months. I mean, were we actually talking like September or October, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, well, stay tuned. We'll get that on our website as soon as we get confirmation on that.
And definitely we need Rob back to, as we get closer to his auction so we can talk more about
I'm hoping
what he has.
Our listeners will call us with some of their collections at 815-923-7000. You can email us at consign@donleyauctions.com. Send us some photos. We'd love to see what you have. Marbles, just one of many collections we sell here at Donley Auctions. Big or small, we do it all. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour. We're going to be talking more about the new Donley Group coming up here next, so don't go anywhere, folks. We're right here on AM 560, The Answer.
You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the Donley Auctions Hour. Susan and Randy here, Donley Auctions in Union, Illinois. We just got done talking to Robert Spinelli about a marble collection. It's so fascinating to hear what people are collecting these days. I would have never thought marbles was such a lucrative hobby.
And that's one thing we caution everybody, don't be selling your marbles.
Don't lose your marbles either.
don't sell them at a garage sale by the mason jar full because, it's not at all uncommon to take a jar full like that and sort them out. And, these marbles here are all worth $50 a piece. Here's one that's worth $100. And, so often we hear all the time of these jars full or coffee cans full of marbles being sold for $5 and $10 for the whole group.
Right.
And, again, we're here to help with that. And, we didn't mention also that it's not unusual, for big auctions to have marbles that are $25,000, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you know, Randy, the most expensive marble sold to date, it was in 2018. It's called an opaque Lutz, Lutz. It sold for $25,000, and it was pink. It had pink with red colored ribbons in it. It's an absolutely beautiful marble, but it sold for $25,000.
Now, isn't that something? To me, that sounds reasonable. I thought there were marbles that went beyond the 25, but 25 is still the hit. Right?
That's what I found so far. And then there was a confetti mica marble that sold for $11,000. So there's, like a top 10, but these marbles are so beautiful and intricate in detail.
And again, all I'm saying is, getting rid of stuff cheap at a garage sale or what have you is kind of like throwing away a lottery ticket without checking the numbers.
Right.
Without taking the time to check the numbers.
There's a lottery ticket in Canada that has not been claimed that expires today, June 1st. $70 million. Nobody's claimed it yet. So don't throw away your lottery tickets, folks. Can you imagine? Thinking, I think I bought one. What did I do with it?
It happens all too often.
That's right. So marbles is just one of many collections we're looking for because they're just valuable. And there's still collectors out there, young and old, still looking for stuff like that, just like coins and jewelry. So tell us a little bit about those types of collections.
Well,
Randy.
always, we're always looking for coins and jewelry for auction because, again, we see it happen all the time where people are selling their again, a cigar box full of old, what they refer to as junk jewelry. And first and foremost, a lot of it can be gold. People are thinking, this is all junk. It's always been in the drawer. And that's not the case. And then some even costume jewelry has designer markings on it, where some of those costume brooches and everything, they go into the thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. It's not junk.
That's right. And we have expert staff with us who knows all about coins and jewelry. He knows how to test for those, for the gold and silver.
Without a doubt. We can do all of that for you. And again, we're trying to take the work off your hands. So that's how we earn our commission, is to do the work for you, the research, and make it more valuable. And, I just got a call yesterday. I'm driving along. I get a call on my car. And the gentleman says, I'm 89 years old. I have 20 guns. I'm not bringing them to you. I'm told a friend of mine heard you on the radio and said, you'll come to my house and pick them up and do all the paperwork.
I'm not carrying those around. You need to come get them. Okay, we're on our way.
So Neil, our gun expert, is on his way there, and he will, in fact, evaluate before they ever leave the house. We'll be able to do that for him and you. If you want evaluations and everything, again, all free. We do it all.
No obligation whatsoever. And again, we love firearms and ammunition. If you do have 1, 20, or hundreds, let us know. Call us at 815-923-7000. Ask for Neil. He'll definitely give you some straight talk right there.
I mentioned a little earlier about Civil War collecting. Civil War was such a big hobby for so many years, and there's so many large collections of Civil War in the Chicago area.
Right.
But, you don't have to be in Chicago also. I bring up Chicago, but you don't have to be in the Chicago area. We'll go all over the country for uniform collections and Civil War and this type of thing. We're always looking for swords and uniforms. And that's not just Civil War, that's any war, and military relics of all kinds. So, again, we'll do the driving. You just give us the call.
That's right. And, again, if there's anything with provenance, that is key as well. We love the historical proof of these uniforms and things. So, again, our email is consign@donleyauctions.com. That's DONLEY, auctions with an S, because we do more than one. DonleyAuctions.com. And you know what else we want to talk about, Randy, today? So don't go anywhere, folks, because we have your daughter coming up, Shauna in our next segment. Shauna Donley.
Realtor.
She'll be telling you about a new group that we're starting here at Donley Auctions. Again, we are expanding, we're growing, we're hiring, we're looking for really great collections. We have auctions once a month, at least now. We're starting to do some online-only auctions as well. So keep us in mind. Phone number one more time, 815-923-7000. Anything else you want to mention real quick, Randy?
No, that'll do it. Let's push on to the commercial so we can get back to our our guest.
Join
and our
us
next segment.
after the break because we have Shauna Donley on next. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour every Saturday at 1 o'clock on AM 560, The Answer.
And now, more of the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560. The Answer.
We are back with the Donley Auctions Hour. Thanks for sticking with us during that last break. I'm Susan. I'm co-owner of Donley Auctions here with Randy Donley. And we have Shauna Donley. It's a family affair today. Shauna Donley's on the phone with us today. Hi, Shauna.
Hi, how are you?
Hey,
We're
sweetie.
great. Thanks for joining us today. We want to talk a little bit about our new ventures here at Donley Auctions.
First, I want to mention that Shauna, many of you know Shauna for years and years. I mean, from the Wild West town, family business for almost 50 years. And Shauna started out working there in our stunt shows. And, of course, Shauna is now a stunt woman. Tell me just a little bit, how many years have you been doing stunts in TV shows and movies?
Oh, my gosh. It's been 12 years already. I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild, and I work in Chicago and New York doing film, television, commercials, you name it.
What you working on now? Anything big that's coming to the theater soon?
I am working on a couple of big projects. Unfortunately, I've signed NDAs for both of those, so I'm not.
It's funny.
That's right. We can talk about the stuff she's already done.
I'm always prying and trying to find out more about it. But one thing that we mentioned in our last show is that we're looking for a new location, something bigger for Donley Auctions, and we've elected to offer the Wild West Town property for sale. It's a 24-acre, 25-acre commercially zoned. Actually, it's an event center. You could call it an amusement park, an event center, and everything. But we're putting that up for sale, and which people have asked, oh, well, how do I see it, and so on. And
yes.
So go ahead, Susan.
Here's what you got to do, folks. You have to go to wildwesttown.com. Wildwesttown.com. There is a fantastic video of the park. Maybe just a few years ago, I think it was filmed. Sure. In its heyday, it was a beautiful day. It shows you everything about the park and a little bit about the property. We'll have more information on our Donley Auctions website when we get that page created.
Which brings us into talking to Shauna today. Along with your career of being a stunt woman, you do real estate.
I do. I have been a licensed realtor, real estate broker for the last 8 years. And this year, I'm proud to announce that we've started the Donley Group in conjunction with Donley Auctions.
Wow.
Yes, we're very excited about that.
And what took us so long to do that is beyond me because obviously...
Here's how it started. Here's why. So tell them how this came about.
Every time we seem to go in to help people with their collections of selling, of course, they're selling the real estate because in most cases, the reason people are calling us is because there's been a death. A collector has passed away, and families are selling off everything, including the real estate. So, Shauna, being a realtor, you've been helping everybody, correct?
I have, yep. And wow, it's been a trip because some of these unique properties that we've gone into have been so much fun, but not just due to a death in the family and estate sales. I mean, we're working with a lot of people that want to downsize too. So the Donley Group can not only help you list and actively market to achieve the highest price for your real estate that you're selling, but we can help you downsize and out of state.
That's what I was going to say. It's not just in Illinois, correct?
Right. I have partners in all 50 states, and I have done some crazy deals, again, with people in California and Washington and New York and just across the border in Indiana and Iowa and Wisconsin. So we can definitely help you guys everywhere.
Right, right. So tell us a little more about who you're with now. What's the company?
Myself and the Donley Group, we're with At Properties, who has acquired Christie's International as well. So now we have presence in 50 countries as well as the 50 states.
Oh, my God.
Sean, how do you spell that?
It's a really great company. I'm sorry?
How do you spell that company name?
Well, our branding is the at symbol, At Properties.
At Properties.
Okay,
yep.
I get it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Uh-huh. So it's not AT, it's the at symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you type it out in an email address or in a website, yes, it's AT Properties. However, you can go to my website, which is shaunadonley.com, and that's a direct link to all the properties that we have available that the Donley Group is representing, as well as we're linking to Donley Auctions.
Wonderful.
We want to fully support you guys, too.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll need to get that information on donleyauctions.com sooner than later.
Now, what's interesting, you brought up even, out of the country, Shauna, with this auction coming up, we, again, have so many people calling us and everything from out of the country that are wanting to buy at the upcoming phonograph auction. I mean, you just fielded 2 calls today, didn't you?
Right,
Susan?
Yeah. We have one from Germany who's coming in and one from the UK.
Wow.
So yes, when our auctions go online, we have bidders from all over the world. We're on 4 different bidding platforms with tens of thousands of bidders all looking at our auctions. So that's the way to do it. Get online. But we're also live. You can come out to Union, Illinois for a fun day of activities.
But that's why it's so important to do business with an auction company like ours. Because,
well, we're like a one-stop shop, really.
Right.
Yeah, so give us a call at 815-923-7000. Ask us anything about consigning, how to bid, any property information. Give us a call.
Shauna, we've just got 1 minute. Anything you want to add about the...
Yes. Well, I would love to tell you guys about the Donley Group's newest listing. It's a private coach house right in the middle of the Gold Coast in downtown Chicago. That happens to be actually one of our good clients from the auction house.
Wow.
I believe he just bought a music box there at the last auction.
Incredible. How it all ties together, huh?
No. So if anyone's in the market for a stunning and unique coach house, give us a call.
You want them to call our number, Shauna, or you want them to check your website?
They can do both. The beauty of our partnership with Donley Auctions and the Donley Group is we're all connected. So you can get a hold of any of us any which way.
Okay, 815-923-7000. Don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to talk about some of our upcoming auctions, how to consign, how to bid. You're listening to the Donley Auctions Hour every Saturday at 1 o'clock on AM 560, The Answer.
The Donley Auctions Hour continues now on AM 560, The Answer.
Thanks for joining us. The Donley Auctions Hour here every Saturday at 1 o'clock. Thank you to Shauna Donley, our guest today, and Robert Spinelli. Thank you for your time, everyone. You know what, Randy? We want to tell everybody what you're doing coming up. I saw you going to get fitted for a tuxedo. What is going on in
I
Randy's
don't own
world?
my own tux because my weight fluctuates
we
so
rent
much.
everything. We rent boats. We rent jets. We rent golf carts. Come on.
So, okay. So, yes. I do a lot of charity work, charity auctions, that is.
Yes, you do.
And one of my favorite groups is an organization called Focus, which is just an incredible group that does free surgery in Haiti for kids who have eye problems and so on and so forth. And I actually am doing a charity auction June 10th. If anybody would like to attend, they can go to the website for the Illinois Eyeball. That's a pretty clever name.
Yes.
Right. It's the Illinois Eyeball is the name of the event. And again, it's dedicated to celebrating 165 years of history in the Illinois Eye and Ear Infirmary and supporting
It's on LaSalle Street in Chicago on June 10th from 6 to 10 p.m.
It's just incredible, what these people do, and I'll be the
Randy's the auctioneer. He'll be the guy,
auctioneer there,
the man in the tuxedo,
hoping to raise money for this organization.
That reminds me, I don't know if people know that you are actually a licensed auctioneer. Yes, he does all the chanting for our auctions with other auctioneers that we do hire in sometimes.
We have other auctioneers, but certainly I am an auctioneer.
That's right. At the state of Illinois, can you auction in other states?
I can, depending on what I do. Is I just
what you're selling?
No, I get another license wherever I go.
Good to know.
Like right now, I've let my Florida license lapse, but since we're going to be doing a Florida auction, coming up, which we'll be telling you about.
Yeah. But that's great because I think people should know that if there are some big charity events you need an auctioneer, give Randy a call.
I'm the guy.
I'll put your number out there, 815-923-7000. Randy Donley in a tuxedo. But we do have a lot of stuff coming up, folks. We're going to wrap it up today with telling you a little bit about how to consign your collections to us. Leave us an email at consign@donleyauctions.com. I'll keep repeating that, consign@DONLEY auctions with an S. Send us a photo or two with some information. Where are you located? What do you have? Any provenance, that sort of thing. Because we have several experts on staff that we can delegate these questions out to and get to the right people. And then we'll be honest with you. We'll tell you exactly what you should or should not be doing with your collections.
Now, also, I want to remind everybody, if you work for a museum or a lawyer or are an executor, we're always working with you to help sell estates.
That's right. And so the other part of our wrap up here is not only how to consign, but how to bid. So first of all, we always want you to come to our auctions. That's the least expensive way to bid in an auction, is to be there live. Plus, you can touch and feel and ask all those questions about your items before you buy them. So come out live to Union, June 14th and 15th for the phonograph auction, July 15th and 16th for the guns and military auction. You can also leave an absentee bid. We have that form on our website at donleyauctions.com. We're taking phone bids. I already have a couple phone bids from out of the country for our June auction. So we'd love to do phone bids, but they have to be $500 and up on the value of the items. Lots of ways to bid, folks. We try to make it convenient for everybody, but we'd love to see you in Union, Illinois. Any last words, Randy?
Well,
tune in next week. We'll have something to talk about, I'm sure.
You got it. Yeah, don't forget to join us.
That's right. And you're listening to us on the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560. I'm Susan.
And I'm Randy Donley. And we'll see you at the auction.
Thanks for listening to the Donley Auctions Hour on AM 560, The Answer. Check out all the latest information on upcoming auctions and collectibles at DonleyAuctions.com. And while you're there, you can contact someone about buying or selling your collectibles or estates. That's DonleyAuctions.com.